Recording?
Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. Good?
yeah.
Alright. Ladies, gentlemen, intersex, and non-binary folks, welcome to the Dead Film Critics Society. I'm joining you after a late night out, and I'm eating Subway, and we're going to be talking. Say hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Yeah! Woo! Everyone liked this video now, because he's a good guy. Okay, let's get into this. I know that said you wanted to talk about a little bit of TIFF like premiere news before we get into Superman. So have at her. Let's break it down.
Yeah, so honestly, despite a lot, so there's a good amount of films like Jay Kelly, which has George Clooney, Begonia, the new Yorgos Lanthimos film with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, um, House of Dynamite by Catherine Bigelow with Idris Elba. A lot of those are only going to Venice, but I'd still say, despite some of those omissions, TIFF still is a pretty stacked lineup. You have like the best films from Cannes that were winners, like It Was Just an Accident, which won the top prize, along with Sentimental Value, which is arguably the most acclaimed film coming out of there. Got lots of other interesting films, so I guess I'll just list them off quickly. We got Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man, so the third Knives Out film,
Mm-hmm.
with, of course, a stacked cast led by Daniel Craig, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Have a couple other films. We got Hamnet by Chloe Zhao, director of Nomadland, with Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal. Um, it's Roofman, which is a very interesting film, which is about a guy who robbed McDonald's restaurants and also secretly lived inside a Toys R Us for 6 months, based on a true
Mm.
story, with
I saw the
Channing
trailer
Tatum.
for this.
Yes, so that's world premiering at TIFF.
It was before Eddington. I saw the trailer for it. It was
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a very fun TIFF premiere film. You got The Ballad of a Small Player from the director of Conclave with Colin Farrell and Tilda Swinton.
Oh my
What
God!
else?
Really?
Yeah,
That sounds like a good cast.
you got Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein specifically, with Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, uh, and a few other really cool actors. This was Sean Toronto. They also recently named some stages, like some film stages after Guillermo del Toro in the Toronto area because of his dedication to living and filming here, which has been really cool
I'm
to see.
fine with
So
it.
obviously,
Honestly, well deserved.
mhm.
I mean, did you know he also made? He was part of the committee that helped save the Review Cinema. It's one of the oldest operating cinemas in the city.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
on the
No,
verge of
I
shutting down after the pandemic.
yeah, no, yeah. That's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. No, good guy.
Rental Family, which is kind of being positioned, I think, as one of the potential big awards contenders. It centers on Brendan Fraser as an American actor living in Tokyo who works for a rental family company. So he plays like stand-in roles for other people's family, like he plays the white boyfriend or like the white cousin or something like that in people's like real families. So that's something that I think um, Fox Searchlight has a lot of confidence in, so I would expect to see that as an Oscar contender. Um, you got this film, very interesting film called Sacrifice with
Yeah.
Chris Evans and Anya Taylor-Joy. Also, Charlie XCX is in the cast. From the
You
director
see
of
that
this,
poster behind me? You know I'm gonna be fucking sad for that.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
from the director of this film called Athena. I don't know how much art
All right.
Charlie XCX is in it, but I mean she's in it. It might be just a cameo though, or like a brief role. I'm
Mm.
thinking. You got The Smashing Machine with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, um, from director Benny Safdie, one of the two that made Uncut Gems. So I'm very down for another Safdie brothers film. But honestly, Benny, he's appeared to be the funnier one. So, but this film also doesn't seem to be
Yeah, I
funny
mean,
at all.
he was in Happy Gilmore too, Eric.
Yes, I did see that. I think his connection with Sandler might be even close. I was sad they never made their sports card movie. Because when the brothers were still writing together, they had a script for Sandler that just never came together. Maybe we'll see that in the future. Um, those are the big ones. You got Sydney Sweeney's as a Christy Martin, a biopic
Yeah.
about her Christy Martin as one of the most successful female boxers in the 1990s. So that would be another interesting project.
Yeah, I'm excited for that
Yeah,
one.
it's lots
I'm
of
happy to see
interesting
that.
stuff.
I don't want to keep getting typecast. So this is like a really good role for her, I think. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this will
yeah,
be a good role for her. I'm not like the most confident necessarily because I don't know if it'll be doing a good job breaking out of the sports film formula. Because this director, he's okay. He's done some interesting work. He did The King with Timothy Chalamet. Um, but so he's like an up and coming director. So who knows? Maybe this could be one of his better films. And this was produced by Sydney. Obviously, she herself is trying to make sure she's not just kept to one kind of film. She also was one of the producers of The Imitation Game, who helped produce her other film, Immaculate. So, yeah, honestly,
yeah,
that would be one I maybe, it feels like one that I could watch with my parents,
yeah,
potentially, if I'm assuming they'll probably do a lot of screenings for it. It'll be trying to get as much buzz from TIFF being a world premiere as it can. And then you also, the last film I'll quickly mention is the pair that wrote The Brutalist. The wife of the two of Brady Corbet, Mona Fastfold, has a film she's directing that was also again co-written by her and Brady, which stars Amanda Seyfried as Anne Lee, a woman who was the founding leader of the Shaker movement and who was proclaimed by her followers as the female Christ, and created one of the largest utopian societies in American history and was one of the few rare female religious figures at the time. It's also very much based around music because apparently they worship through exuberant song and dance. So I think there's a lot of musical numbers planned for it. Has the same
Mhm.
composer as The Brutalist. Also stars Thomasin McKenzie, Lewis Pullman from Thunderbolts, Stacey Martin, Tim Blake Nelson, and Christopher Abbott. So
Hmm,
that will be a very
interesting.
interesting film that will be playing Venice, and I honestly will be pretty interested to see that. And then I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you, but Nirvana, the band, the show, made a movie that's Matt Johnson, the guy who made Blackberry,
Yeah.
and his friend
Hmm.
Jay McCarroll. They made a whole movie that premiered at South by Southwest, which was very, very acclaimed. So I'm very excited about it. It's going to be the Midnight Madness premiere, and I just know that being that he's like, coming to his hometown for a big festival premiere, I know that Midnight Madness opening is going to be that's going to be one of the most sought after. This is going to be the craziest screening, almost guaranteed to be the craziest screening of the whole festival, being like a comedy that people are already very hyped about. Have said a lot
Yeah.
of good things, and that's funny for not just the people who love the show, even though I'm sure the most of the people there will like love the show. Like, because I remember when I watched Blackberry at a screening that Matt Johnson was doing a Q&A at, people were laughing at basically everything he did. Like, they found him like to an absurd degree. I don't know if you that's something I experienced in friendship a little bit. Like he's one of these guys that like whenever they do a comedy project, they just have this cult following that like people who find him funny just find almost everything he does funny.
Hmm.
So that'll be a very interesting screening. That's like my top ticket. That is the one I'm like I need to do whatever I can to get into that film.
Hmm. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
But yeah, those are like a lot of the big ones.
Mm.
Do you have any more details on when what you'll be doing around that time?
Okay. Right. Um, I honestly just know that I have seminar classes, and one other. I have two. I only have two classes, but I'm also gonna be a GA, so it really depend on how like busy I am. But it's early in the semester, so I might not be too bad. I'll have to just see. Um,
Yeah.
uh, honestly, I'd fucking do it. I think I could probably make it work.
Yeah, I mean,
How much are tickets though? Like, are they? What's the
it
price?
yeah, it depends on the screening. Um, but I think they start around 25 bucks. Some of the like the premiere screenings, the premium ones go up to like 70. Sometimes you can snag them for less. Just depends. I don't have a membership this year, so it'll be a little more weary because of that. But I will, we'll figure out a couple, like we'll figure out what you're maybe, I don't know, we can go through some of them later and maybe
Yeah.
find which titles you're most excited about and then, it also depends. Like sometimes like popular movies can go from having like 10 screenings and then other
Yeah.
movies that are seemingly just as popular will have like two. So it totally depends.
It will depend. I will say I already kind of. You said Knives Out 3 is premiering, then I think I'd kind of want to go see that one. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
I
I
would love to
also
see that movie early. I have been foaming at the mouth waiting for that third movie to come out. Like I love these movies. It's such a great series. They just, I don't know, they're very witty, and I love Daniel Craig, so I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that will be popular for sure. I think they'll do a lot of screenings though. I think they will.
yeah,
Last time for Glass Onion, they did actually also the way I got to see it was they did
it
a free
probably will.
screening for those who had Presto cards. So all you need to do was pull up, show your Presto card, and you got in.
It kind of cooked with that marketing. I think it's pretty good. Hmm. Damn. All right. Well, maybe they'll do that again. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out.
There'll at least be
Who's to
something
say?
probably. That's usually in like the latter half of the festival though, like the Friday after the festival starts. But because that's
Hmm.
when less people from around the world, most people like come for the opening weekend, maybe 1 or 2 days after that, and then go to where they live. If they're not local, unless they're like
Yeah.
dedicated to doing the whole thing, which a bunch are, especially press. But like, the big premieres with, the celebrities and everything will be the opening weekend for sure.
Yeah.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. Let me just see if there's any other film news I wanted to share. How's your Subway?
Um, it's Subway. It's pretty solid.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I um I ate a large Osmos last night.
Right.
Um, wasn't expecting to, and it's kind of left me feeling very um heavy today. Oh, I think you're frozen. There we go.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You were just frozen on a smile. That was nice. What a nice thing to brighten my day. Ah, alrighty. But yeah, but we're good. Um, shit. All right. So if there's nothing else about Tiff you want to talk about, should we get right into Superman then?
I was gonna quickly go through like general news briefly, maybe. Um,
Oh, you got some general news too? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Kaibi
Yeah.
versus Acme got its official release date, August
Oh yeah, I
28th,
saw that.
2026. So
Hmm.
be great to finally see that film after all it's like been delayed and canceled to will actually get a release, and I'm sure it is like a long time, and I wonder if like some of the social media support will die down a little bit by that point. But I mean, they're doing a good job marketing it. They were at San Diego Comic Con. I'm sure they'll do other creative things to get people, to see it. It has John Cena in it, so I'm sure that alone,
Hmm.
people like John Cena, it'll bring some people in for sure, I think. And yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything negative to say obviously about it. It looks like a fun movie, and yeah, it sounds like a fun late summer movie.
Yeah. If only we could have seen Batgirl with Brendan Fraser and
Yeah, I don't
What's her
remember.
name? That's okay. But yeah, no, it would have been nice to see that though. Like, but it's too bad that one got shelved. But at least we get to see this one. I'm very curious. I think it's a very interesting concept for a film, and I look forward to seeing what they do with it. So.
Yeah. We
Mm-hmm.
got the first teaser for Vince Gilligan's new show on Apple TV. I don't know if
Mm.
you noticed that, with Ray Seahorn as the
I did.
lead,
I did see
called
it. Yeah.
Pluribus,
Mm-hmm.
premiering November 7th. I mean, I will 100% be watching this. I'm very excited for it. Obviously, I have no idea what to expect. Um, I think it'll be very, this is the first time he's
She's just
stepping out of the
licking
Breaking
donuts in the
Bad
trailer. So yeah.
universe since he started Breaking Bad, so like
Mm.
2008, 2009,
Yeah,
around that.
2008.
So this is a long time
Mm.
coming. Yeah, I mean, I think Ray Seahorn is an unbelievably gifted actor. She clearly works very well with the people who made Better Call Saul. She gave unbelievable performance in it. May arguably almost better than Bob Odenkirk's at points. I mean, it was amazing. I'd say
Yeah.
honestly, it's a top three performance in the Breaking Bad universe. I'd say personally,
Mm.
um, probably the best supporting character besides maybe Gus Fring, but even then, I think like she's just amazing in it. So
Mm.
I can't wait to see what she does with this role because I know Vince knows that whatever insane scenario he puts her character through, she can reflect those emotions, and I look forward
Probably.
to it.
Yeah, like in the trailer, she's just licking donuts, and I was like, what could this mean? Like, what's she doing?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think I think this will definitely be something that like people will be talking about every week as it comes out. Yeah, Apple TV is honestly rivaling HBO. This continues like that rivalry where like Apple might just have as many good shows in different categories, like a prestige comedy, like they have with the Studio, which got like 30 Emmy nominations. I think it broke the record for most Emmy nominations for a new show. You got Severance, which is like the show I feel like most people is the most water cooler type show where like people were talking about what's happening next the most between every episode. Um, yeah, I mean, not that HBO is doing bad. They had things like The White Lotus, um, Hacks, The Rehearsal. I mean, of course, I love. But Apple's definitely like doing a pretty good job aiming for its crown in
Yeah. They're
securing some
doing
of the
decent
most
movies
talented
as well,
people.
though. They're doing decent movies as well, because like F1 was, I would say, like a technical marvel. It was a very good film. I really enjoyed that one. So, and that's gonna be available soon. Like I know, like, but I know they sent that straight to theaters, which is good. But yeah.
Hello?
Daniel, can you hear me? No, there we go.
Yeah,
All
sorry,
right.
I was frozen for a while.
No, you're okay. Don't worry. No problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I think there's one other bit of news I saw. I'm just trying to remember. Oh, look. I have it saved somewhere here.
Okay. One other funny thing
No.
I had was that Paul Thomas
Yep.
Anderson's new film, one battle after another, which is skipping festivals, by the way. It's not going to Venice, TIFF, Telluride, nothing. Maybe New York, probably not. But it's doing a Fortnite collaboration, um, which is
Really?
very interesting
Hmm.
for a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
That
Yeah.
is kind of wild, actually. Hmm. Hello, Peter. Welcome to Fortnite. Crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Very
I don't like,
interesting
out of all the
choice.
directors like to collaborate with Fortnite. I did honestly not expect.
I think it's because it's out of his
Um,
hands. Like
did
it's
not
an $100
expect
million
it to be Paul
movie.
Thomas Anderson. It
So
is?
yeah. so I can't imagine he has
But
that
like
much control over the marketing.
people who play Fortnite though, are they going to be Paul Thomas Anderson fans or are they going to be teenagers or tweens?
They're trying to get
Like,
teenagers to watch the film. They're hoping, hey, teenagers, you know Leonardo DiCaprio, white, right? So here's this movie where these Fortnite type things like car chases and
mm,
guns are. So come watch the movie, despite the fact that it'll probably be a bit of a weird political commentary on America and have a decent amount of art house sensibility.
mm, yeah, that's putting it lightly, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that mean that like Sean Penn's character is gonna like have a chug jug in the movie?
that would be really funny. Especially because I think he's supposed to be like a fascist. Just a
It seems
fascist.
like someone who would have man a fascist with a chug jug. That'd be really
Yeah, the
funny.
fascist with a
No,
chug
I
jug.
would definitely like that.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Trump should just get a chug jug and just calm down, man. Like what the fuck? Crazy.
Yeah.
A
I've heard it
chug jug could
relaxes you.
probably solve a lot of issues.
Yeah. If only we had
Ooh.
that. The last thing
Yep,
I was going to
definitely.
mention
I'm
before
gonna
we
be
talk.
very I should be careful with what I say though, because I am going to the United States next week, so fingers crossed I don't get stopped at the border. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to
Anyways, I'm sorry I
upload
interrupted you. What were you
this
saying?
after you get into the United States in case they somehow find it.
God
Uh,
bless.
yeah.
Mm.
Hans Zimmer is set to co-compose the season 3 of Euphoria.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of don't hate that. I feel like it's going to lead to some interesting pieces of music. Euphoria always has had pretty good music throughout its
Yeah.
run, and I look forward to seeing what Labyrinth and one of the greatest living composers of the film composers of today is gonna do. You know, I think they might cook up something special, hopefully to distract us from the potentially non-existent story because it's Sam Levinson, and this man is just vibes over substance so often. It's not even
Yes.
funny. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels very weird to see him doing something like this, considering everything else he's been doing for so long has always been of an epic scale. Even the Mr. Beast video he did, I remember they were going to Antarctica, so you kind of like, okay, like it makes some sense. This makes even less sense because it's just supposed to be about, teenagers getting high. I don't think his
Wait,
sensibility.
sorry, what did you just say? Hans Zimmer collaborated with Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast paid him to compose some music for his Antarctica video. I remember that. Yeah.
What
No,
the fuck?
yeah, I remember dude, he will do any, okay. I see, I don't understand this move from any perspective so far, like the Hans Zimmer in Euphoria thing, because I just don't see where his sensibilities make more sense than, like, if they fired Labyrinth and brought on Hans Zimmer, I'd be like, okay, they're trying to make this like Stranger Things now. Like fucking something like it's gonna be like some big epic thing they're going all out for because they have the numbers. But no, it's just I think it's gonna remote like be sort of the same tone. My other guess is maybe they're just having him compose like one theme for some like really specific trip like sequence that they'll return to for whatever reason, or like one
Possible.
big like event. I don't know, maybe like have all the characters in one place and like all of a sudden there's like a shooting or something. I don't know. Okay, look, I'm just theorizing about like, because what else are you gonna do in this show other than
Honestly,
like
it
do
wouldn't
something
surprise
big
me
and
to have
epic,
that happen.
right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're gonna do something big and epic to like finish the season off more than just the school play. Like considering how many viewers they still have, like I feel like that's the
Yeah.
only way to justify it still existing in some ways.
Well, I do know that they're doing a time jump, so I mean, it's possible that they're, maybe there'll be something else, like something epic. Because I don't think they're in high school anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
I also just find it a little hard to believe that Labyrinth and Hans Zimmer are actually like maybe they like, I know some composers sometimes have like studios near each other in Los Angeles, but it feels a little weird to think that this much older guy, Hans Zimmer, is going to be in the same booth as Labyrinth, like cooking, like collaborating on these. They're not Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Like most of the time when they announce these big collaborations, one of them's just doing a couple big themes that they felt fits their sensibilities more. So I'm assuming there's something that relates to that. But
Possible.
who knows?
I guess we'll find out, man.
Very interesting
Yesterday's
decision.
history, tomorrow's mystery. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about real quick before we get into Superman, or is that
No.
it?
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Hans Zimmer, here's the character he did compose for, which makes a lot more sense in Superman.
Man of Steel.
But we got rid of that one. That one doesn't exist anymore. It never happened,
Yeah.
guys. It was all a dream.
There was another
Now-
Superman before David Cornsweet. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there isn't
Yeah.
actually, especially to me because I haven't seen any other ones.
No
So I
disrespect to Henry Cavill, though. Honestly, like, bro tried. Okay, it's just it was the wrong universe. Yeah.
I'm also just not a huge Henry Cavill fan. Not that he deserves hate for it, but like, I don't necessarily have seen him in anything where I'm like, I want to sing his praises because he's really good. He's there. David Cornsweet, on the other hand, definitely looking forward to more stuff with him. This is pretty good film. I'll just say that right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly, so directed and written by James Gunn. We got 2025 Superman. No other, no. I feel like everything has a colon on it these days. This is just Superman. Like
Yeah.
everything in the Marvel has to have a colon. Fantastic Four: First Steps, Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts even had to do something funny with
They got
their,
the asterisks.
and then
Yeah.
they became the new Avengers, so it's basically a colon
Mm-hmm.
sub in. No, we just have straight up Superman. And so starring David Cornsweet as Superman, of course, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, along with a plethora of other characters.
Yep.
I guess how would you describe? I don't know. The basic plot description, I guess, is as Superman tries to help keep peace in a foreign conflict, a new rival from that country threatens him and the United States until a terrible thing is revealed. Is because the basic conceit is
Superman
kind
is
of
pro
a spoiler.
Palestine. Yep. You heard it here first, folks. Superman is pro Palestine. Makes sense.
Yeah.
He obviously would be in real life.
That's
I don't know.
not even-
I like that metaphor.
That's
It did feel like they were sort of. Sorry, I was just gonna say. It felt like they were going more for like Ukraine and Russia just because of the accents, but like, the parallels are still pretty crazy though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of both in some ways.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You could definitely argue. Obviously, a little more just because the U.S.'s support of the more powerful state makes it clear who they're pointing at. I liked also that the president of fake Israel / Russia is the guy from Triangle of Sadness, who is the guy who sells shit and is rich. So this feels like a very good American follow-up to that role for a Western audience. That was fun. I guess we'll go right into spoilers because the main conflict is Lex Luthor hates Superman. You knew that, but then as Lex hates and tries to get Superman to not be popular, he manages to find out that in this version, Superman's parents sent Superman to basically enslave humanity and rule over them as a god, despite the fact that the whole time he's been serving people with kindness.
Yeah, That's true. Yeah. No, it's I honestly I was kind of not like shocked but surprised by that take on it cuz like normally we've seen it like his parents are like they're a force for good. They wanted him to come here to help them be a better world so they wouldn't end up like Krypton. But here it's just like they just wanted them he just wanted sorry his parents just wanted him to like recreate Krypton on Earth basically and just like create a bunch of Kryptonian human like hybrid people or whatever. So I did kind of like that though because I think having him put more stock into what his adopted parents say grounds him as a human character, and that's kind of like the crux of the whole thing. Like Lex Luthor looks at him and thinks he's an alien, but then he has a whole speech where he's talking about like he's more human and just as human as like anyone because he
Hmm.
grew up on a farm in the United States with humble origins, and he is through and through a good person, and he learned how to be human before he learned he was an alien, and that's what grounds him so much, and that's why he's such a great character. And honestly, having that in the movie, like you immediately get so much credit for that because I feel like so many times like Superman, I've talked about this before in the past, like to a couple of my friends, but and I've seen like so many YouTubers bring this up as well. Like Superman is always seen as like he's getting compared to like Jesus or like he's like this emotionalist demigod or like he kind of views himself as like above humanity. But Superman as a character is like he views himself as just a human who's been given a
Hmm.
gift so he can help people and he uses that to its full extent and he views himself on equal playing field as anybody around him and that's what makes him such a good person because he's not like discriminatory. I'm gonna keep saying it again because he is literally the goodest guy out there. Like
Hmm.
he even saves squirrels in this movie.
Yeah.
That's the extent we're at. I have never seen a superhero go out of their way to save a fucking squirrel. And as soon as I saw that, I was immediately sold on him as a character. Because I'm like that feels like something Superman would do. It was honestly like I think I mentioned this to you a bit before, but I think personally like he is my new definitive on-screen Superman. I don't know who else could really top like his performance. To be honest, like Christopher Reeve maybe, but the problem I do kind of have with Christopher Reeve's character is that he kind of just feels like someone whose only personality trait is that he likes Lois Lane. And I feel like that's another thing that a lot of writers get wrong about Superman as well. They view him as being attached to humanity just because of Lois Lane when it's not because he grew up here. He's attached to humanity because he is effectively human. And this movie understood that, and that's what made it so great. Like Lois Lane is just a bonus for him. Like another great example of why humanity is worth fighting for and worth saving, but he's got so many other reasons to keep fighting and that he honestly I think that makes him like probably the strongest Superman we've seen as well. Like some of the things I saw him do in this movie were crazy. So yeah. Also, I'll let you jump in before we talk about Lex Luthor. But like, how would you agree with my statements there? Do you think he's a good portrayal of the character?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any super strong takes on the character as a whole, but I
Yeah.
was honestly interested. Like, I actually think this version is even more like. It was interesting you brought up Jesus because I actually think this version is even more like the biblical Jesus I'm familiar with, where he's not
Really?
about ruling over humanity and like he does like continually sacrifice himself for those. He's always putting others ahead, which is how like I was taught Jesus it was, and it was always
Yeah.
serving, even like the lowest of the low, and how he like, like the moment he saves the squirrel is kind of like how we're taught that Jesus like really cared about children and them being okay and like having love, because they love, because that's like, yeah, that's what's beautiful about a child. They love despite all the flaws that their parents or whoever around them may have, right? Like while adults usually judge and point fingers. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and like yeah, putting kindness first. Like I feel like that's another thing I always put about Jesus first. But he still has sort of that death and resurrection thing. But it does at kind of the very beginning where he loses, but then he immediately, even when he's not at full health, goes right back into the fray.
That is true.
So like I feel like it immediately starts off with that. So like I honestly think there is a very interesting religious conversation you could get into. I won't get into it too much because there's also so many things about politics I think that we can both talk about with a similar
Yeah.
view about how
Yeah.
what this movie has to say about it. But yeah, as far as the kindness part, I really did admire it about how sincere this Superman was. That like yeah, this is a character that's all about being kind, and really his only problem is that he doesn't have enough time to save everyone seemingly at multiple points, but he still does it anyways. Like I know some maybe complain that he's still like too powerful, that he doesn't like struggle necessarily because he's still able to like mostly conquer everything in his way, as we do see, because like you said, he does some insane things in this film. But I think obviously
Yeah.
like the basic moral crisis that are written into the film make a lot more sense because he constantly has to figure out how to do both. Like try to be at two places at once, which is impossible, but he like finds ways out of it, and he as like a symbol of hope and kindness like inspires those around him. Like I like that
To be better.
as a message overall, especially with the stuff in the
Middle East.
Israel-Palestine conflict / Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
Which I
No, I agree with that, honestly. I did like the ending. Like, I think it was good that it wasn't just Superman doing everything, because, like, there's no way that Superman could be in Metropolis and at the Madripoor border at the same time, right? So it was good that he inspired, his, like, I mean, they're his friends, right? Like, there's, well, not super friends, not yet. Like, we're not at that point quite at this moment in time, but, like, he made them look beyond like their corporate sponsorships and that sort of idea, especially like Guy Gardner. I mean, he did it his own way. He used like giant middle fingers to fuck with the not Israeli soldiers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Also, like Hawkgirl killing the Netanyahu stand-in was kind of crazy. I was not expecting that. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I mean, I liked it honestly. I think it was pretty badass. It's just like it's because it shows you it's still a different kind of superhero movie. Because I would have thought they would have at least like brought him to jail, but no, they straight up killed his ass. They dropped him.
Yeah.
She dropped him from pretty high up and hit the concrete. I mean, I was like, whoa, damn.
Yeah. I like how they're kind of able to do both. They're both able to do like this very sincere, like pretty wholesome, like superhero story, but then also naturally kind of weave into the more immature, like adult, like kind of comedy with like the flipping off, but then also having like real stakes. Like Lex Luthor just shoots a guy in the head right in front of him, like in like cold blood, like that kind of part. I think that was very crucial to like show that like people will die potentially in this universe, and Lex Luthor will just kill people if he figures it's to his benefit. And same obviously with the Israel president stand-in.
That was crazy though, like the fact that like, first of all, Lex Luthor, like, I think it's perfectly done in this movie because he is literally Superman's biggest hater. The guy that he killed, mind you, literally met Superman a total of like 1, maybe 2 times, and he just killed him for simply having a conversation with him, which is just crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is wild. That's the level of hater I wanted to see from Lex Luthor, and I think Nicholas Hoult, he might be my favorite Lex Luthor now too. Because Jesse Eisenberg, what the fuck was that? Like, that was such an incredible miscast. Not a good decision at all. But then, I mean, Kevin Spacey, we don't talk about him, even though I did think he was good at the time. But I mean, I don't know. I think this one's definitely the best portrayal. Like, he literally has an army of monkeys just to tweet out hatred towards Superman because he despises him so much. And he also uses the word alien like it's a racial slur too.
Mm-hmm.
That part made me laugh quite hard because I'm just like, he basically called him the N-word, man. Like, that's so wild. Like, he was using that shit like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was so wild, man. No, so really good performance. I think like if Lex Luthor wasn't as strong as he was, like, I don't know if I would have liked the movie as much because I wanted Lex to like be a hater, but he's also he's a threat, Like, he's a very big threat throughout the entire movie. The way he orchestrates everything, and Superman is on the downtrodden for most of the film. Like, he's not winning for most of it, and like, so you really feel the stakes there, and you understand what could happen if like Superman loses, and I think that's what makes it all the more satisfying when he finally does win. You know, and it was also fun. Like, do you remember in the first Avengers movie when bloody oh, how much of that did you get? I think I cut off.
I think I got like the idea of what you're trying to say. You're talking about the crypto scene, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it reminded me of that one scene in the Avengers with the Hulk and Loki.
Yeah. No, very much.
Yeah,
They have similar
yeah,
energies in a lot of ways.
yeah.
But yeah, it is very cool how political this version was because you also
I
see
agree. Yeah.
that like Superman is literally just like you could compare him to like an inspirational immigrant story
Yeah.
who like is maybe doing things differently, which threatens like the old ways and the old money that is established in a country like America, and try and then them trying to portray them as though they're wrong, they might be a foreign threat or something like that, when it's like whenever like you could see it for the mayor of New York City, everyone like, oh, he's Muslim, and so he's like, you guys look, 9/11 happened, guys, he might be
Yeah.
you let a terrorist, and like, oh, he's going to destroy American values and all that.
Yeah.
You could like, that's a good comparison, honestly, to someone like that
Mhm.
who's like trying to do good for common people, in his ideas,
And they're
and
just
then
finding a way to hate.
they
Yeah.
just hate on him because he's representing, even though he's representing good things, because of his race, because of who he is, something he can't control really, despite how cool really he kind of is in concept.
Yeah.
um
I
and
will point out though, he's not mayor yet. Unfortunately, there's still it's
yeah,
down to him and Cuomo. But yeah, I
yeah,
hope he fucking wins though. Because honestly, you're right. I didn't think of it that way.
but
Like
that's like a
the
good
two
example,
are.
I feel.
It is a very good example. Yeah, no, I like that actually because it's like it's similar. It's a bit eerie how much like that is happening right now because the conservative left, sorry, the conservative right, it's kind of I guess it's basically what Lex Luthor is in real life these days. You know, they're twisting everything that this guy Zohar Mamdani is doing like in the election to try and make it seem bad. Like they're trying to paint him fighting for affordable housing as bad. It's like how, like Lex Luthor is trying to portray like what all the do-gooding that he's doing is bad. Like it's very, you're right. It is a very political movie. It's interesting like how much that is happening these
Mhm.
days because people feel like their wallets are going to be threatened, so they start attacking left and right, even if it doesn't make logical sense. It's really interesting that
Yeah,
this
like
movie
I mean,
like
they did it
was
to
really talked
Obama. They
about.
were like, despite the fact he was literally born in America, they were trying to say he's like,
He was
you
Kenyan.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and all these like conspiracies about him not being American, and like probably mostly just literally because of his skin color.
It
In
was
this case,
100% about skin color.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so then, yeah, you get this example where, in this case, it's not really about race, but you can very much see is about like him, just like, yeah, the fact that he's not born on American soil instantly makes everyone distrust him. So then when one bad thing appears about him, everyone like kind of goes against
Believes
him,
it.
and
Yeah.
believes it, even though, as you see, and it kind of captures the feeling I think a lot of us feel about how billionaires, like maybe not to the extent we see, like it's not like most of them probably have monkey, robot apes tweeting out hate all the time. But that's kind of feeling you get when you scroll across social media and you just see it's like, who the hell are supporting these like insane right wing
Yeah.
characters? Who's donating to these people who say the N word and then get fired, and then they're like, oh, we feel so bad for you because you said a very racist word on
Yeah.
in
It's like,
public
oh,
on
free speech
social
is under
media,
attack. Like,
because yeah,
oh,
free
fuck.
speech is under attack or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, just because we, you know, want free speech and consider it a very, good thing, doesn't mean we go ahead and use it like that. Also, whatever happened to the free market, and you're allowed to fire whoever you want in that case, as long as it's
Yeah.
done like properly and with reason. That's a pretty good, like a very decent reason to fire someone. You know what that does for your company.
Yeah. I think
So
that's
like,
probably one of the best reasons to fire someone, actually. Like, yeah, if they say a racial slur, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, why should anyone feel bad for them? Like, I don't understand that, man. Like,
yeah,
there's no lapse in judgment there. Like, you don't just. I have never accidentally said the N word in my entire life, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I was a young child at one point. I did say it, but my mom fucking smacked some sense into me and told me, hey, don't fucking use that word. And as an adult, I can honestly say I've never used that word since I was like 9, you know? Like, it's just a word you don't say. Like, any adult with half a brain developed knows not to say that sort of stuff. And, like, it's simple. So. Yeah, so like, why should we feel bad for these types of people? But it is interesting though, like bringing it back to the conservatives, like the outcry they are having against this film is kind of wild. Like, have you been seeing it online, like what they're talking about?
Not a ton. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know what they're trying to pinpoint. I honestly think James Gunn did a very good job, like, one of the good things about this film, despite maybe some people thinking that the plot
yeah,
maybe could be a little more efficient, but he's doing a lot of good work establishing like this world and how it
yeah,
works, where it's both comic booky but also very much a reflection of our own world. I think he did
yeah,
that very well. So like, there's so many things like I feel like you could take aim at and say, oh, this is a clear critique of something, or this is a clear parody of something. But there's so much of it, like, even just like that random monkey joke, which might, yeah, I think you could talk a long time without about this movie without mentioning that, and still have a very productive conversation. But that's just like one small like cutaway joke that he included. But I feel like it also very much
yeah.
captures how we feel, or how a lot of people feel about billionaires, and how sometimes they're defended, how they operate, like, and how what people are usually constantly trying to call out is like, how are we allowing these people to keep running the world half the time, and then we elect them, and then in America they elect one as their president. It's like, how do we keep
Yeah,
letting these people get away with it, is like
I
basically
don't
what this
know.
movie is trying to say. It's like, think of all the things they're doing with all those resources, all the things that they're manipulating, and yet somehow so many of us still fall for it, even when it's right in front of our faces that we are being tricked constantly by big money and big things, which I like. And for such a big movie that is also connected and greenlit by a guy who makes like $30 million a year, it feels a bit crazy
Yeah,
that it's able to go into all this commentary, but like, it's able to ride that line pretty well. I think a movie that doesn't have those kind of stakes could say even more. But for what it's doing like, I think, a lot of good, reasonable insight, because they show that a billionaire is less of a human than an alien, right? Because I feel like that
I
amount of
think
money
that's
just
true for
skews
real
your
life as well.
yeah, exactly. Like, they're
Yeah,
trying to say like, oh, these people from different religions and different cultures are less, human than us just because we don't share that. And yes, maybe there are some key differences where there be strong disagreements. You see that all the time in how, the Christian country, generally speaking, like America, despite the fact that, I mean, I think more people are atheists, but like, it's still seen as a Christian country, come into conflict with Muslims and other, and like Hindu, and like just cultures from the East a lot of the time. And that kind of thing is like, never like, that's seen as a real big conflict. Meanwhile, we barely put any insight into how these billionaires are really nothing like us. They live, like, once you get to that point, you live in a world that is not remotely close to understanding what it's like for like a normal person.
exactly. Yeah. No, I would totally agree with that. I mean, like, cause you get some of these people who are like obscenely wealthy, like more money than I think any person should ever have. Like, and it's sometimes 10 times that even. And you just see like what they do, devoid of their humanity. Like, they're not even like a real person anymore. Like the things that Jeff Bezos buys with his money, when like honestly he could be putting a lot of that money into. I'm not saying that it should be just on him, because there's a lot of people who need to like help out, man. But like, he could be using a lot of that money to help the world. Like, I don't know where exactly he would put that money. That's a different conversation entirely. But I just think like buying your seventh yacht is like really like something that's kind of shitty to do with that amount of money. Like, what is the average person gonna do? Like, the average person would give more of their hard-earned money to help somebody else. But I feel like the wealthier you get, like the less you want to share. It's very interesting. It's a nice little paradox, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like also half the time it's like, oh, they're saying that they can't share it just because of how
Yeah, or they're just
corporate
like, why
and
do you want handouts?
capitalist
I'm like, no, we
structure.
don't want handouts. Like,
That
it's
yeah,
just
that kind
like,
of thing too, where it's like, yeah,
yeah, it's like, oh, I
all of
worked
a
hard
sudden
for my money. Like,
I earned this. Where it's like, oh,
yeah,
all of a sudden we're trying to say that a billionaire works millions times harder as your average teacher, healthcare worker, etc. And it's insane. Like, or
yeah, it's
literally just
definitely
yeah,
not at all.
yeah,
Yeah,
just anyone in the service industry too. Like, it's
yeah,
quite obscene. Um,
yeah.
to see how that works. And yeah, this movie does a pretty good job reflecting that as like, the idea that a billionaire has a pocket universe where they're like low key controlling the world and like changing the world, yet normal people have like no
Also,
idea.
keeping
That feels
political
very
prisoners.
relatable.
Yeah, no, for real. No, no. No, I don't know what to say on that, man. I completely agree with everything you're fucking laying down.
Yeah.
He's spitting facts today, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking hell.
Yeah. And like even thinking about, I think this movie does a better job than something like Vice about talking about like the Patriot Act, for instance. That's literally what you
Oh,
see.
here we go. You
Take,
bringing up Vice again. Oh my god, I had a feeling this might come up, bro. You were
if
that
we're
movie's
gonna
number
talk
one hater.
about some
Yeah.
politics, we could talk about this Best Picture nominee that is literally just because of politics, and then we can look at this comic book movie that is doing, I think, frankly, a better job, despite, it's not trying to be realistic, obviously, but it's
Subtle.
reflecting more about, like, how
Yeah.
the Patriot Act works, how arms dealing works, and I think it's honestly a little more understandable overall. Because, yeah, they take someone who lives on American soil, and they escort him and they hand him off to like a company that's technically not America, and then they start doing things that are like basically inhumane, and then it just happens to be connected to another country where they're trying to gain more powers. Probably again very connected to like when they, America just goes and fucks with other people's governments and takes anyone who resists the government they are supporting, and they're like, oh yeah, they disappeared, they died, they got tortured, and you're trying to say that like when the United States is involved, it's not always clear that they were involved, but like even that interview with that former CIA head who's like, have we messed with any other people's elections? They're like, oh, probably, and they're like laughing about it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's more than what he reveals in that interview. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
why wouldn't this kind of
Yeah.
stuff be happening all the time? And I think this movie explains that very well. Not that Vice doesn't explain it, but this movie does a better job at explaining it in a comic book movie.
Take notes, Adam. What?
I hope Adam McKay
Adam?
likes this movie.
Adam McKay.
And I
Yeah.
hope he takes notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he better take notes. His movie better be, next movie better be a lot more fun and do just as much commentary as this movie effectively gets through. Yeah, I mean,
Tell him to make Talladega Nights too. That would be better.
yeah. But overall, yeah, I'm very impressed with how this film takes, the simple economics of like, yeah, support country who want to start war, billionaire get money from selling weapons to country, war start,
Yeah.
sell more weapons, people die, doesn't matter, billionaire make more money. And then it also reflects.
That's not even like remembering that's not even talking about the fact that he actually Lex Luthor actually orchestrated the start of that war just to have an excuse to kill Superman.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, I know we talked about this earlier, but that's a next level hater shit right there.
Sorry, I can't help but think of that's a very King David from the Bible. His mortal sin is that he tries to steal another, like one of his soldiers' wives. So he sends that soldier to the front lines and it gets him killed, so he can marry. It is, dude. The Bible is full
What
of
the
fucked
fuck?
up
That's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah,
dude, I gotta pick up the Bible, man. I bet you it's a laugh. Can't wait to read that. New York Times bestseller. Oh Lord. Oh man, that's awesome.
No, it's crazy, but that's kind of reflecting it, and that's like, yeah, David was supposed to be a good king. Obviously, he's not like Lex Luthor, but basically Lex Luthor just casually is like, yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out a reason to kill him. Same reason why, the United States find excuses to, invade Iraq, etc. Same like with Israel, probably constantly trying to justify why they're going to go kill children because, we're defending ourselves, and there's a terrorist unit inside the country. Doesn't, trying to use that as an excuse to kill
They've got
thousands.
hummus in there. They've got pita bread. We need to stop them. It's not okay. They can't have any
Yeah,
food. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking wild, man. Oh my god. No. So honestly, seeing that like put to screen, like where I find like like a lot of like mainstream Hollywood movies aren't like willing to go there. I respected James Gunn a hell of a lot for like
yeah,
making, like, whether or not he's gonna admit it or not, like putting something like that in the movie during this period in our history is very, I think is very interesting. I think it's a really good point to have in a movie about, like you said, an immigrant. Like,
yeah.
yeah. I wonder if I mean,
A
he
white
basically gets
immigrant,
arrested by
but
ICE as well. Like,
yeah, he
we
basically
gotta
gets
take that.
arrested by ICE
And like
and
also his
deported to
police
a
brutality.
pocket universe.
Yeah,
Just like how
literally,
they like,
which is like
when they sent that American citizen to Colombia
Honduras,
or Honduras.
Honduras.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like,
or is
you
it?
know,
Is it Honduras or am I? El Salvador. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, it's El Salvador. Yeah. El Salvador is a pocket universe confirmed. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it can feel
In
like
terms of
that
the
to
actual
us.
movie, though, I like this conversation a lot, but I am just curious in terms of like everything else about the movie. Like, what are some of your other favorite aspects about it? Like, how are we feeling about the? We touched on some of the performances, but how are we feeling about Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane? Was she good?
Yeah,
Like her?
she's very good. I think everyone's pretty well cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rachel Brosnahan a lot in that role. Um, Honestly, I could see a world where it makes sense to have more of her.
Yep.
Obviously David Corn says Superman is really great. I think he fits that role
Yep.
very well. He fits the look. Everyone
Yep.
who I watched it with thought he was hot. Um,
Real shit, man. My
and
God. Got me salivating. God damn.
and
But yeah,
so
no, I mean, also, let's not forget, speaking of hot people, let's not forget the GOAT, Jimmy Olsen, man. Just like a master of pull. I don't know how the hell
without
Bro is
trying,
doing this, but like,
without
I gotta take
trying,
notes, honestly. Without trying!
without
The
trying is the key
nonchalant
part.
Riz,
He's
that's what
yeah,
they call it.
he's not like
Yeah,
looking up lessons on how to pick up women. He just does based on his
yeah,
simple existence alone.
yes. He's not just a reporter, he's also the CEO of sex, ladies and gentlemen. Let's
Yeah.
not forget that. Yeah. No,
Move
man.
aside,
No,
man.
honestly, I actually liked his character. I mean, I know it was like such a small role, but I do kind of fuck with it, and it's a lot better than the Jimmy Olsen we had in the DCEU. Because I don't know if you remember this, but he was briefly in Batman v Superman, and he was revealed within 10 minutes of the film starting to be a CIA like a CIA like spy basically. He's working for the CIA. He's not actually a reporter, and he gets executed within like 10 minutes of the film starting. And like that's supposed to be like Superman's best friend and confidant, and he's just murdered. So
Yeah.
the bar was kind of like in the toilet. So it was nice to see a
Yeah.
decent portrayal of that character. I also really like I can't remember the guy's name. Who's the guy who played Perry White? Do you remember his name? The actor?
I don't remember the actor's name. No.
No, okay. Well, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Like I think we all know his face. Like he's been in The Wire. He's been in Suits. Been in a bunch of other good shows and movies. But I liked his Perry White. It was like it was again a very small supporting role. I think there's a lot of really good supporting roles in this film. Like it really
Yes.
rounded out the universe. It makes it feel more like lived in and like actually like a real place. Like everyone has character traits, and I like that. It's not everyone's just like a blank slate. I actually really enjoyed that aspect of it. But yeah, a lot of personality in this movie. I really like it. Also, can we talk about Mr. Terrific? Because
Yes.
he may have been if it wasn't for Lex Luthor and Superman's great adversarial relationship, he might have been my favorite part of the movie. I really like his character, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to see more of him. Like I've never seen him in his character in anything before, and Edie Gathegi, like he did a great job of playing him. I thought like he was one of my favorite characters in the movie for sure. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I thought he carried the scenes where there's more focus on him really well. I liked him
Oh yeah,
and Lois having some more screen time together, and it
yeah,
worked out pretty well. Um, yeah, that was a good part. Liked Crypto. Honestly, they could have made him a little more cute, but I kind of liked how he was an annoying dog. on the
Yeah,
surface, but that's just grounded a bit more rather than him just being another overpowered sidekick that comes along
yeah.
for the ride. Um, yeah, yeah, I liked that a lot too. Um,
Mhm.
I guess the standout, like technical aspect I want to point out, I did like a lot of the movement with the action scenes. I thought the camera
Yeah,
movement particularly was always very involved and captured the action very well. That was very
yeah. You
interesting
really
how
feel the
they
speed of it. Yeah,
planned it out. You feel the speed and the power of a lot of these movements and actions. And yeah, so I thought they did a very good job with that. I admired that a lot about it. I thought that was an upgrade for the most part. Mr. Terrific's long take scene, though, while it was like a fun concept to just have Lois watching inside the bubble and we stay with her, just seeing him absolutely demolish everyone.
yeah.
It was
That been my favorite scene of the movie. Honestly, that was shot really
really
well. It was great.
it
Yeah,
was
one
a
of my,
bit
if not
too
my, not my
reminiscent
favorite, one of my
of
favorite.
Yondu's Arrow stuff or the Guardians 3 long take scene, to be honest, for me. Like
Yeah, but
it's
I don't know. I'm
fun.
not gonna lie,
I'm not
man.
mad at it.
I'm a sucker for those types of movies.
Yeah,
I like those movies. I like those types of movies.
yeah.
It's
I
fun.
think it's self-referential. Like I think he's
Is he
trying to
gonna
do
do that
that.
to show what he can?
Yeah, I think he's gonna do that
Yeah,
shot in every movie and just try to find new creative ways to
I was just gonna
frame
say
it
it's
or do it.
to show what he can do. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No, that's understandable. I can see where you're coming from, but I mean, it was also just a fun way to introduce like the character because a lot of people probably aren't familiar with what Mr. Terrific could do,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like I
sure.
certainly wasn't before the love. A good way to build, a nice way to build some goodwill. So yeah, yeah. No, actually, I do take that back. I don't know if it's my favorite scene. It's one of my favorites in the movie. I think though my favorite scene is probably where Lois Lane is interviewing Clark.
Hmm.
To be honest, as Superman, I do like that one a lot. Like
Yeah.
I think it was a very well written scene. Like the camera movement was pretty good. It did really well. Like, what do you think about that scene? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought that was a very good scene to start it off overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
like establish their dynamic pretty well. How like
Yep.
they're kind of starting a relationship, but also like showing that like kind of the early potential conflict points, but also like kind of revealing also the complication of him being Superman, like how much implications there are in his actions despite his best intentions. That like not everything he does is going to be taken in the best light, and then he does have to be careful about how he moves and acts um, in that kind of spotlight as anyone in that spotlight would have to. But of course, that like he feels very restricted by it. That is like kind of it immediately gets to like his weakest his weak big probably his biggest weakness besides kryptonite is that how he's viewed and what he does will be constantly scrutinized by everyone around him. And then obviously if
Yeah.
everyone thinks that he's a bad person, that maybe there's no point to his actions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, yeah, no, the way they, sorry, I was zoned out for just a second there. I did hear what you're saying. I lost my train of thought, but I will say, I think, like, yeah, I agree with everything you're talking about there. Like, you really get a sense of who he is, and like why he does what he does. He doesn't do it because out of obligation, because he thinks like the people of Earth are weak. He's just like, he sees something shitty happens and he wants to go help. He doesn't care about representing a country. He literally says it like he wasn't representing anyone. He was representing himself as a citizen of Earth, basically, and he goes and does what he thinks is right, And honestly, considering how good his moral compass is, what he does is pretty much right all the time. So, yeah. But maybe
Yeah.
we'll get into maybe we'll get into a gray area in a later movie where like his moral compass does fail him once. I mean, I think that could be an interesting like character model because just I think that'd be a good way to just show that he is not this perfect person because humanity is continuously imperfect. So maybe it'll be interesting to see like what more mistakes he can make as a character. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
as a superhero comic book film in 2025, I am very happy with what we get here. Um,
yes, I am too.
yeah,
Very happy.
establishing itself like has some of the same scale and impressive kind of superhero work that you'd want from a Marvel movie, for example, but I think he's doing something different as well. Like he's clearly separated that from even his Suicide Squad movie, even though it's more like that than obviously Guardians, but it still has some of those James Gunn things where like he knows that an audience can tolerate, middle finger jokes or people saying shit. It's not all sanitized. Not that they don't do that in the Marvel. It's just been so long since I've seen one that I'm like almost would be surprised at it because it just feels like such Disney Plus fodder these days sometimes. But not to hate on those films necessarily, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Supergirl. I'll definitely be seeing that. I'm looking forward to more stuff from this universe, and I'm very happy with what we have here. I feel like it'll be a pretty beloved film for many years to come. I think its messages apply to today, but also probably can go beyond that. So I think it will age well. That's
I think so
my
too.
perspective.
All right. Well, are we ready to give it a score then?
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right. I'll let you go first then, my man. Take us away.
As much as I feel like I've praised this movie a lot, which is deserved. But I mean, at the end of the day, some parts of the screenplay and like its basic concept aren't as impressive as many other films, even that I've seen this year. So I did give it a 7 out of 10, but I think it's closer to an 8, in my opinion. Yeah.
You know what? I think I'd probably agree with you. I would say I'm about like a 7.5 or an 8. Around that ballpark area. I think you know what? I do recognize that there's some flaws. Like there were. I'm just trying to think like. What do I even have an issue with? I think it's just because like there were. It did wow me, but it didn't like blow me away like some superhero movies have in the past, right? But that's fine. Like I was very happy with this theater experience. Like I left feeling great, like I actually left very happy and feeling like I wanted to be a better person, while at the same time also wanting to be a better hater. So it was a nice little paradox there. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the movie. It did a great job at just setting the tone for the rest of the universe, and I cannot wait to see what they do with the universe from here on out. Like I look forward to Peacemaker season 2. We just got the trailer for that recently. Yeah. And then Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow should be coming out next year, around the same time, actually. So I look forward to that. Like, her character was teased at the end of this movie, and I'm interested to see what they can do. Like I saw some people complain that she's like drunk online, but if you do a bit of digging and you look into the comics, like you find out why she does stuff like that. And the comic that movie is potentially going to be based off of is her like partying to deal with the grief of losing her home planet, right? So I think there could be some interesting plot points we could go over in that film. So I really look forward to seeing what James Gunn can do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
good stuff.
Forward to more DCU. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Peacemaker as well. I enjoy that show a lot.
Yeah, I might go see Fantastic Four tonight as well.
James is not. Well, I would call him a genius in some ways at doing like what he does in his particular brand and efficiency of like he was able to get this movie out 2 years. It's only been 2 years since Guardians, right?
Yeah. I think so.
So like that's pretty impressive for a film of this scale and like trying to do as many things as it does. And like he wrote almost all Peacemaker himself. I don't know if he did that for this upcoming season, but like he's doing, and he's not like, he's clearly working very hard. And so he deserves all his flowers. I don't think he's like necessarily making, 9 out of 10 auteur amazing classics, but he's making very good films that lots of people enjoy. I think that's something that's maybe undervalued in some ways.
He knows how to make a blockbuster. Not everyone can do that. It's a lot harder than people give it credit for. Like a lot of things need to come together to make a successful blockbuster, and he's done it time and time again. So
yeah, like because when you think of like those who've like consistently gone from project to project in that kind of blockbuster range, you can and are doing like other properties, you can only really think of like Nolan even, and even then he's like doing one character the whole time. I don't think there's any other filmmaker who's really as comparable to him as far as like jumping between big blockbusters of the same scale slash like comic book universe, but also just distinguishing them and making them pretty consistently quality. Um, yeah, like I think
Yeah.
he deserves all the like he probably deserves more praise than he gets overall. I think he's very much to do with why this movie is as good as it is and why the casting works and all those things. Like I think he's like a smart guy to keep at the head of DCEU overall, I'd say.
Yeah.
Good thing he's a partner. Obviously, I think him making all these movies plus planning its entire future would be a lot. But obviously, he's helping plan its future by making them. But I think he's in a good place. I think it makes sense for him.
Yeah. No. Couldn't agree with you more there, man. Honestly, good takes. Good takes all around. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I was actually just saying, or I probably didn't hear me because I didn't realize you still wanted to talk a little bit more about this, but I am seeing Fantastic Four tonight probably. So
Okay.
like, if we want to talk about that next, I don't know when you plan to see that, but maybe we can do that as our next episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I'll probably want to
That's
watch
still
it with a few people if I see it, so I'm still
yeah.
like, but I'm not like rushing to see it either, so we'll see.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't talk about Eddington, so maybe we can do Eddington for our next episode at least. Have you seen Eddington
I have
yet?
not seen
Eddington yet?
Edmonton actually, no.
Okay.
So
Okay.
was the other thing I had seen was 28 Years Later. That I'm actually
Yep.
seeing Naked Gun tomorrow. By the way, I don't know if you were planning
Oh,
to see that, but I'm seeing that early
that's
as
kind of
planned.
cool. Let
So
me
that'll
know if
be
it's good,
fun.
because I'm
Yeah,
really hoping it's good, honestly.
yeah. No, I'm hoping that I'll be able to give a ringing endorsement out to it. Um, that's the kind of thing I hope is good and like a fun theater experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it seems like it'll be something that could work. I mean, the trailers look promising. I like the casting of Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. I think you know, pretty solid choice, I would say.
Yeah,
Like he did a lot of very serious films for a while, and then he went into serious action movies. And now we're starting to see him more in comedy, like kind of making fun of that persona, and I do like that, honestly. I think like he's pretty good when he's acting a bit more serious in like a comedy movie as a way to just I don't know, make
to
everything.
deliver
How do I
jokes,
say?
like to contrast
Yeah, deliver
situations
jokes
with
in
his
serious manner.
seriousness and how
Yeah, I think
serious
it's
he seems
good.
as a person.
Yeah, and as someone who did watch the original Naked Gun movies, like that's basically how Leslie Nielsen's character was. It's how he acted. So like I think getting an actor of Liam Neeson's caliber to do that sort of stuff was a really good decision.
Yeah,
Also happy to see Pamela Anderson and stuff again. I love
yeah,
her. Honestly, I think Hollywood did her very wrong.
hmm
So I'm happy to see that she's having a bit of a renaissance right now. She's been in a few things lately, so I hope
yeah.
this
She
continues
had
for her.
some Oscar buzz for the last Showgirl, and then she'll be in
Yeah.
this. Also, Paul Walter Hauser's in it. Akiva Schaffer's directing it, who did things like Lonely Island projects, like Popstar.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
good hands there. I think it'll be,
Yep.
at the very least, a good time, if not like
Yeah.
the best movie ever. But you know,
Yeah.
it's a spoof police movie. I don't know how much more you can get from it. It's a genre crowd
Yep.
pleaser, and I hope it succeeds overall. I think a few more of those in studio slates would not hurt at all. Oh, and then Weapons.
No, I agree.
Weapons
I like
is
I like
the
spoof movies. They're great. Yeah.
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 Weapons would be the next movie I really definitely want to see after that.
Oh yeah, I'll be making a
That
trip to
was
the
one.
theater for that, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely want to see that in a theater. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the only other thing I can think of before we wrap up is eventually going through like more of the TIFF titles to see like what you might be interested in.
Yeah.
But we can maybe do that another time. We got time, so
Yeah, that's cool. Yep.
yeah, we can maybe do that next
All right.
time. Make that like the first part of the episode.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we should probably. I'm not saying we end the colleges yet, but like we should at least do our outro. I also before we do
Yeah.
that, I think there's something wrong with your mic. It sounds like it's bubbling right now.
Oh, like right now.
Yeah.
Okay. They're in the mic's in the headset, so you know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder what's
why
going on because it was
like
literally
some
fine for the entire. It was fine for the
oh,
entire thing. I'm not sure what's going
it might
on
be
now.
dying. It had like 10%, so that might be why.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's
So
try and just do
honestly,
this
I
anyway
might
then.
like transition my phone after we do the outro if we want to talk about a couple more things quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
All right. Well, yeah. This has been our discussion of Superman. You know, it had to happen. This is kind of, I think, the defining summer blockbuster. I'd say
I would
overall,
agree.
I think is something that's a little more original in that it's like starting something new, and something that a lot of people are seeing. I feel like there's one every year, from my perception. Last year, kind of for me, was Twisters, Barbie. I'm also just
Yeah.
naming the films that I like feel the easiest to have a group of people go see that are also
Mhm.
like because even Fantastic Four, they're saying you need to watch a bunch of other stuff before it, but like you know, not obviously essential from what I'm hearing. So we'll see though.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, yeah. Thanks again, Aiden, for talking to me and for tolerating my constant hate on Vice. Not that you love Vice or anything, but it'd be funny if you did. If we were just always talking about how divided we were about that film. But
No, it's not a favorite movie of mine. I'm not saying I've only seen it like twice, and I don't really want to see it any more times than that. So
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the Dead Film Critics Society podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah. Another
I'm
good
gonna maybe
episode. Fuck yeah.
switch to my phone quickly.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Oh.
Do you know what if there's like a length you can record like screen record on your iPhone? I was just like, not that I should do it through my phone, but I was just theorizing about what it would be like to try to record with it on my phone if like we were trying to do something small or like last minute.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Because then we can do stuff like if we're on the road or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Cool stuff.
something we couldn't do.
Oh no, sorry. You go first. You say anything.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I bought some like really cool lighting equipment this week.
Yeah.
Like for my like freelance stuff.
Right.
I'll show you. I'm not gonna show you like the fucking stand for it because it's really big. But look at this massive ass